live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, 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 we going. Yeah, 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 we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
This is the second week of our new segment, Mental Health Moment.
Yes.
And I thought it was, this is actually the person who, when he came out with his, speaking about his diagnosis and talking about removing stigmas, his voice on it, I think in sports, kind of helped it, like, it kind of helped remove that stigma. Because he came out and talked about, and I guess it's still kind of taboo.
It is. Sad but true.
Yeah. But now so many different players are coming forward.
Yeah.
And
it's being made okay.
Right.
He's the pioneer of making it okay.
Right. And so I'm glad we got to get to Mr. Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
Who is, wait, how many teams did he play for? Play for the...
Four.
Played for the Browns. Started his career with the Broncos.
The Jets.
Played for the Jets. Did he play for
the
Seahawks?
Did he play for the Patriots?
He did play for the Patriots. And then he got cut.
I'm like, wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's like 4 teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Mm-hmm. Which is a brain disorder.
Right.
And it's hereditary. It's possible it's hereditary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, I believe the first interview that I saw him do was on Real Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And he just talked about, like, knowing that something was wrong with him, but not going to get help.
Yeah.
And not understanding that it was something that needed help.
Right.
You know, he spoke about... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
He spoke about just feeling like, you know, some of the things that he was going through was just natural and was just a part of him.
That is I think, especially as African Americans, particularly African American men, this particular disorder, it looks just a lot like the stigma that is attached to being a Black man.
Mm.
Can't hold relationships, can't take, can't take nobody's criticism, doesn't like to be told what to do. Like a lot of those things that you kind of probably would assume are just, that's how a Black boy will be, you know what I mean?
Right.
No. Mm-hmm. Those things could be easily symptoms of this particular disorder. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this one and opposition defiance disorder are two that I think are really like misdiagnosed in African American men.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've seen what I believe to have been oppositional defiance.
Don't start no stuff. What? Don't start.
Actually, no. I wasn't about to talk about. I wasn't about to talk about Doug.
don't do that.
No,
don't do it.
No, it was a student that I had when I was teaching in DC, and this student actually threw a trash can at me. And he was in the first grade, but he was able to verbalize a lot of the stuff that was going on at home, and it was like, you hit me with a trash can, but I understand now that there's some things going on you can't help and you can't control his behavior. So I prayed, like he ended up leaving the school not too far after that. But I pray that, his family was able to get him that help that he needed. But
I don't know. Even Brandon Marshall, he did it was a fundraiser, I think a luncheon last year. And that was one of the things that he talked about, how if a child is diagnosed with something horrific like leukemia, they're rushed right to the hospital, and they're, everything's poured into making sure that they get okay. Soon as a child is diagnosed with a mental disorder or a mental illness, it's like, handle it. You'll be okay.
yeah,
There's not the same urgency or sense of urgency to assist that child in getting better or figuring out how to cope. Just imagine had someone caught this and he had been able to get the tools that he now has to cope with it back then. Like,
right.
I mean, he was blessed to still have a great career, but a lot of the things that happened to him, even during his time in the NFL, probably would never have happened.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
This quote from the article that he wrote in the Players Tribune, where he says, "I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder in 2011. I remember the doctors gave me a pamphlet on BPD explaining the signs and symptoms, and I started highlighting the things I had been feeling. By the time I was done, the whole damn pamphlet was yellow."
That makes sense. Yeah.
And so it's encouraging that he was able, somebody, and I can't remember who he said.
His agent.
It was his agent. Yes. Okay. I thought it was somebody from the team when he was with the Broncos.
It was his agent. His agent was like, "Yo, something's up with you because you just keep going through these things. You keep having these crazy episodes and things happening."
Right.
Yeah. The same way somebody needs to do for Antonio Brown. Just saying.
You know what? When we talked about Drew Rosenhaus dropping him, right? And yeah, I do remember you were just like, you dropped him. Why you ain't helping him? Yeah. But to that point, though, you gotta understand that you got a problem and want to seek help, even for somebody that,
right. Right.
So.
Yeah. True. He had to be willing to be like, wait, yeah, something ain't right. Yeah.
And that's what I commend Brandon Marshall on, like,
right.
understanding, like, yo, it's something not right. And going to seek help doesn't mean that I'm crazy.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's not what that means at all.
And I think that's the issue with people seeking help. They don't want to be labeled as crazy.
That's not what that is. Right. No, I think you're smart. That's what you should be labeled as smart.
Right, for recognizing that something is wrong and going to get help for it.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, he said, quote, "Dr. Gunderson changed my life, saved my life, and now is working through me to save others."
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Right? Wow. Yeah. He said, "I learned that communication was a skill, an art form that was supposed to be taught. We didn't have that growing up."
Man, how many black athletes do you think are like
Brandon Marshalls are out there?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's just, yeah. So kudos to him for doing what he needed to do in order to see about himself and making sure that he was the best man, husband, father, athlete that he could be.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. Great mental health moment. Great that we, highlight him. He's, like you said, pioneering this thing for athletes. Bold and brave to say, "Yo, this is what's happening with me, and I'm okay with sharing that this is what you know what I mean?" Like, yeah.
Right.
And I hope that more people, not just athletes, people period, will embrace the reality that it's okay. Like so many of these mental disorders are about chemical imbalances or things. That's why they put you on medications when it's, you know what I mean? So it's not your fault. It's not something you did wrong. It's not something somebody else necessarily did wrong. Sometimes it is. But for the most part, if it's something that's treatable, man, so you can feel like yourself or your best self, please do it. Please take care of yourself. You just talked. Before we got on, you talked about self-care to me when it comes to expressing myself, about how I feel about things that are going on. It's the same principle to me. This is self-care.
Definitely.
You gotta love yourself enough and find the worth in yourself enough to want to go and see about yourself. Make sure that you are getting what you need to be your best version.
Yeah.
Period. Who wants to live their lives miserable, not understanding what's going on? I mean, it's just, yeah. Okay. Every week I'm going to get on my soapbox about it.
Well,
Say, shut up, Stephanie. It's okay.
When it comes to mental health, that's something that we're both passionate about. So our mental health moment is it's gonna be longer than a moment.
Sorry.
when it gets listen, it's important though. Like, this is something, and this is why we felt like it was a good addition to the show, because we want to highlight those people who are aiding in breaking down this stigma of being crazy when
it's not crazy.
They sought help, and they are trying to make a way for other people who they may not see, but may hear their voice, may read their words, for them to seek help.
Yep.
So we're going to stand on this soapbox all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry. Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
How important it is. Oh,
right.
Okay.
All right. On to the real?
Yeah. At least it's something to smile about right here.
Right.
Lord. Thank you.
Right.
Oh.
You sent this to me, and I love like the pioneering Black girl magic.
Of course.
So who is Candice Lee?
So Candice Lee is the newly, well, she was the interim, but now she is the newly appointed athletic director for Vanderbilt, which is making her the first female African-American athletic director for a SEC school.
Yeah.
Yes. You know how I feel about the SEC. So,
right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's a shame that we as Black people are still seeing first in 2020, but nevertheless,
females too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still seeing it. I mean, not never still seeing it, but it's still good to see. You know what I'm saying? It's still good to see like this barrier being broken.
Absolutely.
So
yeah. So Candice, she's clearly she is she's from Alabama, but she is Vanderbilt through and through.
Mm-hmm.
She got all three of her degrees, her bachelor's, her master's, and her PhD from Vanderbilt.
Let me put some respect on her name, Dr. Candice.
That's right.
Dr.
Candice Lee. That's all right. She and so she was her time in undergrad she spent there. She played on the women's basketball team. Mm-hmm. So, that's why she's our onto the real spotlight, because she went from being a player to, I think she started out, like, she has always been in administration. Mm-hmm. Her journey has always been in administration, I believe. She was so like she was associate vice chancellor, deputy athletic director, senior women's administrator. Like, she has been a boss there for a long time. Right. And so I'm happy to see them reward her for getting, getting done what she's done. She was a captain and a 4-year letter winner for Vanderbilt's women's basketball team. Let's not just say she played, okay? Yeah. She was a captain. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So these are her degrees. So she graduated with a bachelor's of science in human and organizational development. She received her master's in counseling, and then she earned her doctorate in higher education administration. She sound like me. She like her stuff all over. Like, just get a little bit of everything.
I'm gonna take a little bit of this.
I'm gonna take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Yeah.
Let me read what the chancellor from Vanderbilt said about her.
Okay.
Candice is perfectly positioned to lead our athletics program to new heights of success on and off the field, or play, excuse me. She has the drive, creativity, and perseverance to help elevate our student athletes and the entire Vanderbilt athletics program. The progress that Vanderbilt athletics has achieved in recent years and our very high aspirations for the future are grounded in the university's commitment to both academic excellence and to preparing our student athletes to play and win in one of the most, if not the most, competitive conferences in the country.
It is.
Candice is the living embodiment of these values and aspirations.
Awesome. Listen. Awesome.
That's some words right there.
That's a lot of confidence in an individual. And then what's really unique about it is she was interim, I believe, because they were waiting on him. He's new. I believe he's new. And so not to make decisions about who would be in that position until he came along. So it speaks volumes that he gets there and he immediately makes a decision that says, oh no, she's the one. We good.
Yeah. And it's, you know, and it's normally not like that.
It's not. That's
when
what
someone
I'm saying.
comes in, they want to bring in their whole regime with the people
Mm-hmm.
that they decide. So for him to even consider her, shout out, kudos to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And good luck, ma'am.
Yeah.
Like now I'm gonna be rooting for y'all.
Right.
Like not when you play Georgia, but I'll be rooting for you.
Especially when they play Georgia.
No. Listen, everybody about to get off of my team. That's all I'm saying. That whole Peyton Manning, that Tom Brady and that reporter exchange, y'all gonna fall off my team. Fall off my team. Listen. And even about Tiger Woods. Somebody was like, oh, he wearing Georgia colors. No, something. I was like, oh, y'all got, okay. Okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah, all right. No problem. Okay.
All right. Feel good final thought.
Yeah. Yeah. So I saw this story because it's the headline was about Chris Carter.
Yes.
And his passion about feeding the homeless because he said he remembers what it was like to be hungry.
Mm.
That'll deeply affect you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Experiences are what, even the bad ones, are what drive us and develop us into who we are, honestly. And so our feel-good final thought is about the Gold Jackets, which are Hall of Famers.
Oh, yeah.
Who have stepped in to assist the organization, what is it? Helping Isaiah.
Helping Isaiah, yeah.
Helping Isaiah, which was newly formed, by the way. In the midst of this pandemic, basically, to make sure that they were feeding, that families were being fed. And so we've talked about this type of, philanthropy and service before, but I thought this one it caught my attention because of the amount they've been able to do in such a short amount of time. So they've only been in existence since April, and they have already fed 1.7 million people in 11 cities.
That's crazy. That's remarkable.
It is.
1.7 million people in just what?
A little over a month.
A little over a month, almost 2 months.
Yeah. Assuming you started April 1st, yeah.
Right.
2 months maybe. Yeah.
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 Man.
So kudos to them for, you know what I mean? Like, I thought that was really, really big. And to all the Hall of Famers who are lending their their services. Basically, they're making calls.
Mm-hmm.
They're not even, this ain't even no fancy, we do something we like, fun. Nothing's wrong with that. Like the whole golf thing we talked about earlier was a charity event. No big deal. Whatever gets the job done, I'm all for it. But the fact that these guys are like, no, we're just going to get on the phone and we're going to call people till we get what we need. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Use your platform, however. I love it.
Use your influence, use that platform.
Yes, you got a gold jacket. Somebody's going to do something for you.
Right.
Yes. Let's just be clear.
Celebrities getting all this free stuff.
Yeah, that just still boggles my mind.
They got the money to pay for it.
And you want us to, no. Well, I don't own a pair of Jordans right now. No.
Right. Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'll pass.
Pretty much.
Go give me some LeBrons.
And again, I'll pass. I'm gonna let you have that.
Man.
No, thank you. All right.
Yeah. Shout out to both of them, the NFL Hall of Famers, and the charity helping us there.
Absolutely. I love it. I love just
in a month is
in a month, and even if it was 2, it's still crazy. Like it's still crazy. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. So just imagine what they're going to be able to do as they continue. Like this is crazy. Like that's what I want to see. Like that's great. Yeah.
Right. Stuff like this.
Yes. So. Okay.
Put the cameras on me, 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 put the cameras on me.